Good afternoon. FPGA, that is Field Programmable Gate Array. So a field programmable gate array is a programmable logic device, that is PLD, with higher densities and capable of implementing different functions in short period of time. So FPGA is a programmable logic device which support implementations of relatively a large logic circuit. Each FPGA vendor has its own FPGA architecture. So FPGA overview, the 2D array of logic block and flip-flop with electrically programmable interconnection. It has a compact design. User can configure intersection between the logic blocks and function of each block. So why do we need FPGA? The world of integrated circuit, that is full custom, ASIC, semi-custom and user programmable. In user programmable there are PLDs and FPGA. So which way to go, whether ASIC or FPGA? So ASIC has high performance, low power and low cost in high volumes. FPGA off the shelf, low development cost, short time to market and reprogrammable. So FPGAs are reprogrammable. There are some other advantages of FPGA also, that is before going to the advantages, okay, manufacturing cycle for ASIC is very costly, lengthy and it engages lots of manpower. Then mistakes not detected at design time have a large impact on development time and cost. The FPGAs are perfect for rapid prototyping of digital circuit. It is easy upgrade like in case of software and unique application reconfigurable computing. So the building blocks of FPGA are logic cells, which are grouped into configurable logic blocks, input output block, programmable interconnect. Now as there will be a clock circuitry for driving the clock signals to each logic block and additional logic resources. So logic block, its purpose is purpose of the logic block is implement a combinational and sequential logic functions. Then logic block can be implemented by a transistor pair, basic small gate such as 2 input NAND or exclusive OR and multiplexer, lookup tables, wide fan-in and OR structure. So each logic block is an FPGA, typically has a smaller number of input and output. A variety of FPGA products are on the market featuring different types of logic blocks. The most commonly used logic block is lookup table, which contain a storage cell that are used to implement a small logic function. Each cell is capable of holding a single logic value, either 0 or 1, and the stored value is produced as the output of the storage cell. So logic unit of various sizes may be created where the size is defined by the number of inputs. Lookup table are of various sizes which can be created. So it is capable of implementing any logic function of two variable. Because a two variable truth table has 4 rows, the lookup table has 4 storage cells. One cell corresponds to the output value in each row of the truth table. The configurable logic block. The configurable logic block contains the logic for the FPGA. In large grain architecture, these CLBs, that is configurable logic block, will contain enough logic to create a small state machine. So in fine grain architecture, more like a true gate array ASIC, the CLB will contain only a very basic logic. So it contains a RAM for creating arbitrary combinational logic functions. It also contains a flip-flop for clocked storage element, the multiplexer in order to route the logic with the block and to and from external resources. The multiplexer also allows polarity selection and reset and clear input section. Some FPGAs usually have extra circuitry. So besides LUT in, that is the lookup table, in each logic block. For logic circuit to be realized in FPGA, each logic function in the circuit must be small enough to fit within a single logic block. So in practice, user circuit is automatically translated into the required form by using CAD tool. When circuit is implemented in an FPGA, the logic blocks are programmed to realize the necessary function and the routing channel are programmed to make the required interconnection between the logic blocks. So input output block, each bank can be configured individually to support a particular input output standard. It allows the FPGA to work with device using multiple input output standard. The FPGA can actually be used to interface between different input output standard. The modern FPGA output signals with a fast edge rates require the termination to prevent reflections and maintain a signal integrity. High pin count package cannot accommodate external termination registers. Thus, a digitally controlled impedance is employed. The DCI eliminates the need for external register and it improves a signal integrity. So, programmable interconnect. A programmable switch matrix form the heart of interconnect in FPGA. The actual switching matrix employed a structure of 6 pass transistors per cross point. Thus, connectivity can be established by controlling the transistor and various types of connections. Then, single lines, it is used to connect a configurable logic block to another logic block is one of way. These wires have to go through a programmable switch, hence add delay. Then double lines, these wires travel past to CLB before hitting the switch, hence they provide a shorter delay for longer connection. Long lines, the wire in the long group do not go through any programmable switch at all. Instead, they travel all the way across or down a row or column and are driven by tri-state. Global clock lines, these lines are optimized for a case as a clock input to the CLB, providing a short delay and minimal skew. Next is FPGA architecture. So fine grain architecture. The fine grain made up of a sea of gates or transistors or small macro cells with programmable interconnect between them. So here almost the opposite, or it is almost opposite of the CPLD. Then coarse grain architecture. The coarse grain FPGA include a bigger macro cells. The macro cells usually include a flip-flop and lookup table, which are used to implement a combinational logic function. In majority of these architecture, the 4-input lookup table implement the actual logic. The larger logic block usually results in improved performance when compared to the fine-grained architecture. The macro cells usually include a flip-flop and lookup table, which are used to implement a combinational logic functions. In a majority of these architecture, 4 input lookup table implement the actual logic. The larger logic block usually results in improved performance when compared to a fine grained architecture. So historically, FPGA architecture and companies began around the same time as the CPLD. The FPGA are closer to programmable ASIC, large emphasis on interconnection routing. Timing is difficult on predict multiplex hopes versus fixed delay, but more scalable to large size. The FPGA programmable logic block have only a few input and one or two flip-flop, but there are a lot of more of them compared to the number of microcell in CPLD. So general FPGA chip architecture coarse grain is shown here. A configurable input-output block is used to bring the signal onto the chip and send them back off again. It consists of an input buffer and output buffer with 3 states and the open controller output controls. Open collector output control. Typically there are pull-up register on the output and pull down and sometimes pull down register. The priority of the output can usually be programmed for a fast or slow rise and fall times. In addition, there is often a flip-flop on output so that the clocked signals can be output directly to the pins without encountering significant delay. It is done for the input so that there is not much delay on a signal before reaching a flip-flop, which would increase the device hold time requirement. There is often a flip-flop on the output so that the clock signals can be output directly to the pins without encountering significant delay. The interconnect of FPGA is very different than that of the CPLD. but it is rather similar to the gate array of ASIC. There are long lines which can be used to connect a critical CLB's configurable logic block that are physically far from each other on the chip without including much delay. They can also be used as a buses within the chip, and there are also a short lines which are used to connect individual CLBs which are located physically close to each other. There are often one or several switch matrices like that in a CPLD to connect these long and short lines together in specific way. The programmable switches inside the chip allow the connection of CLB to interconnect the lines and interconnect lines to each other and to switch the matrix. Three-state buffers are used to connect many CLBs to a long line, creating a bus. Special long lines called global clock lines are specially CLBs to a long line, creating a bus. Special long lines called global long lines are specially designed for the low impedance and thus fast propagation times. These are connected to a clock buffer and to each clocked element in each CLB. This is how the clocks are distributed throughout the FPGA. FPGA do not contain AND or plain. The three major elements are we have already seen this: logic block, input output block, interconnection wire, and the switches. So here a diagram for this is shown. All elements are programmable. So other FPGA building blocks: clock distribution, embedded memory blocks, special purpose blocks, that is DSP block, hardware multiplier, adders and registers, embedded microprocessor, microcontroller, and high speed serial transceiver. In clock circuitry, the serial input output block with a special high drive clock buffers known as a clock driver are distributed around the chip. These buffers are connected to a clock input pad and drive the clock signals onto a global clock lines. These clock lines are designed for a low skew times and fast propagation time, as the synchronous design is must with the FPGA since absolute skew and delay cannot be guaranteed. Only when using a clock signals from a clock buffer can the clock buffer scan the relative delays and skews times be guaranteed. So why FPGA is better? Before going to this, we will see small versus large granularity. So small grain FPGA resemble a SIG gate array in that the CLBs contain only small or very basic element such as NAND gate, NOR gate, etc. The philosophy is that small elements can be connected to make a larger function without wasting too much logic. In a large gain FPGA, where the CLBs can contain two or more flip-flop, a design which do not need many flip-flop will leave many of them unused. Unfortunately, a small grain architecture require a much more routing resources which take up a space and insert a large amount of delay. So small granularity it has a better utilization, direct conversion to a SIG, and large granularity it has a fewer levels of logic and less interconnect delay. the remaining part, that is the synthesis process, synthesis tools, implementation. All this we will see in the next lecture.